Right. You know, as I say, sometimes my vocal cords could be what we call adjusted, you know, to a tone that might facilitate growth, you know. And the reason why some people might go on in an opera house and sit down and listen to someone stretch the vocal cords, you understand, to raise the altitude, you know, the aptitude, you understand what I'm saying, in the upper hemisphere, you understand what I'm saying, that uses tones, you understand, to convert, you understand what I'm saying, the brain patterns or I forget the proper term. The term is to make the psychosis, but not the psychosis is what I'm trying to say. The patterns, the iridium patterns within the brain. Hence the reason when I watch some of these adorned buildings, they call them churches, but they are not churches. You understand what I'm saying? Because those places are not churches. Those places has isometric patterns on them, you know, showing different variations within the patterns and in the cuts on the earth, you understand what I say? On the earth atmosphere, on the earth atmosphere, as one of the pictures I placed on Facebook of one of the geometric patterns, you understand, that represents one of the systems, you understand what I'm saying, on the body that we living on, you understand what I'm saying, on the star body that we living on. I told you all we are very important. You want to know how intelligent we are? Look into thyself and you shall see yourself. This, as I say, they was talking about the age of Aquarius, according to those people who are in the meta science and the science of the stars and all these different stars and different sciences, you understand? They talk, but we in the side of Aquarius, you know, they see that is what we in, or we enter or we exit in, you know, we're in a middle point. When knowledge is conveyed from one point to the next. Hence the reason why we call it conveying, you understand what I'm saying? Hence the reason why maritime, real maritime, not this criminal maritime they have now, was about moving across the waters. Hence the reason when you look on some of the pictures in ancient Egypt, you understand what I'm saying? Or the ancient pyramids, you understand? Or the ancient mirrors, or the ancient temples, you understand? Or the ancient synagogues, you know? Or the ancient what they call them, the different places, you know, that have holy relics inside of them, or holy drawings of certain things, you know. Even when you hear me spoke about the magic carpet, you understand what I say? That is a means of conveying, moving from one place to the next. But what had happened in that time, when we used to do that, things was different, you understand what I'm saying? So we had exhibitions where we could go from one place to the next and we could convey knowledge, or we could transfer knowledge from one place to the next. Hence the reason why we used to come across the waters, and we say, they might say we went across to North America, you know, and we came across to Central America, and then after we went across to Hawaii, we went across to all these other places, you know, and Japan and China and all these other places that they're calling these places today. Hence the reason why I see this wonderful thing they call the Great Wall of China, where you could move from one place and they could go up and they could do different things, you know. And they have what we call instead of walking across, instead of traveling across water, we could now walk across the mountains, you know, what I'm saying, to go from one territory, because they made borderlines, you know, over the history, they made borderlines, so you could go from one territory to the next, you know. And these places, you know, were places that we could have accessed, you know. So we could have take a trip from what we call China, you know, what I'm saying, and come across in India, you know, and visit those temples across on that side. The reason why I'm saying this because I did a video, you know, with a lady, and she told me about some temples where she was from. You all will see that video. That video, I was eating some food in a nice little place that you could visit, you know. You could get information. They have a nice tone of music there. The ambience is what we call, it's not a big place, you know, but it's a place where you could carry your family and they could have a taste of their culture, you know. You could taste their culture, you know. So you could go there, you know, and you'll hear me speaking about certain things. I expose my head in that video, you know. Normally I don't do that, you know. But because we are holy people, we are spiritual beings, and we are multi-diverse people. We are multiverse people, you understand what I'm saying? Hence the reason why we are in a multi-universal family. You know, a family, you'll hear me saying certain things, and you will say, but this guy, when he telling people about he's an extraterrestrial and he from this family, what extraterrestrial really mean? Extraterrestrial means that, okay then, if you could fly, then he's a bird, right? And here what's going on. And if there's a person that cannot fly, there might be a person who does walk on your toes or your fours. You understand what I'm saying? A bird is an extraterrestrial. You understand what I'm saying? From a dog or from a cat. You understand what I'm saying? It have extra organs or an extra system that you mightn't, the next person or the next creature mightn't have. Hence the reason when we talk about extraterrestrial is not about no alien thing. I know these words was created to make definitions so we could explain and we could have a place to have a conversation. So you might say, but hey, that person is a scientist, you know. But you know that person, that next man, he's just a builder. That person might have a capability that somebody else mightn't have, you understand what I'm saying? And then after here what we did, we create a definition and we call it an extra skill, you know, and extra talent, you understand what I'm saying? But in this case when we talk about extraterrestrial, extra mean having something extra, and terrestrial, you know, mean it's physical mass, you understand what I'm saying? So when I say an extraterrestrial, my physical mass is extra ordinary, you understand what I'm saying, from the average, you understand? So this is just learning for learning purposes, so we could get this learning thing done, and we wouldn't be able to be for people to be calling us fools anymore, because as I say, we're on a super highway. Because if you watch a movie called Thor, there's a divine being. He's from England, but he says family origin is from somewhere in Africa, right? And he has a big sword on him, and he's the gatekeeper. And when he puts his sword in, and he twitches, he opens a belt, and the belt sends the divine beings from one part of the galaxy to the next. That is real, you know. That is a real thing. You call that moving through the galaxy, you understand what I'm saying? Or like long time when those who came from my place, they call it a Stargate. A Stargate with Goa'uld, you know? And all the captains from America and the different people and them who was the captains and the general and the soldiers will go to one place via the Stargate. You know? So those who mightn't be able to remember these things is real. And they went from one star constellation to the next, and they went and speak different. And the Goa'uld, you understand what I'm saying? He had a serpent, you understand what I'm saying, on his head. You know? He had a serpent on his head, representing a certain selective family. Like how you see in this point here, right here, but it's somewhere lower down here, right? And he was representing that place, and he could have talked a different language than the people who was from what they call from one Stargate to the next. And he went to different places, and he was like a security officer, a law enforcer, to ensure the protective societies and other beings are protected. You know, these things are real. Hence the reason, no, you can't just go in a corner and just write up all these things and make all these things happen, and nobody don't know what's going on. These things are still happening. There are still Stargates up to today. Others are traveling through them. Hence the reason I told you there are extraterrestrial crafts who protect their family. You know? And I want to teach you all these things because as I told you all, when you all get offended, and some of you all may stop watch what I was saying because I spoke about Jesus. You know, and I said that Jesus is not the only angel. And he's not the King of Kings, and he could not be the Lord of Lords, because they are creators. They are creative bodies otherwhere, in other places. These things are not fictitious, You know. Hence the reason they would not be able to see a pyramid, or do all those pyramids in Mexico, it would not be there. You know, all the channel flow of water, it would not have a channel flow of water. All this vast knowledge, but you have reactors in certain places and all these different new technology. They come in with your smartphone, and now you have a laptop and a tablet that you could touch the screen. All this information was already there. If you go to certain temples, they will show you before Christ even walked. You understand what I'm saying? They have people on computers, typing on computers. This is real. So why we should be subjected to a lie? Thinking that we don't have any technology, and thinking that we are some kind of primate structure. We are not primate, because primates are very intelligent, right? Or a living entity that does not even have the intelligence. Why are we subjected to these things, you know? But I want to make it informative, because I don't want somebody to say, well, that guy that's rambling and he's very boring and he's not making sense, you know. I want to make sure that it's informative, you know. I mightn't have any pictures to show you all, as those other great intelligent people have those pictures, you understand, to show you all, you know, who they are and what they are, you understand what I'm saying? But they have the capabilities and the techniques, you understand what I'm saying, the funding to do what they have to do. I don't have it. So I'm just giving you knowledge straight off from the bank. You understand what I'm saying? Because I am a bank reserve, you know, for certain people. But the next topic we will talk about how we become bank reserves for others. You know, those other beings who are more intelligent, as they say, than us. You know, hence the reason why I'm making sure that you all get intelligence to learn the truth, right? Until next time.